Yo, if you are a skinny guy trying to build muscle, you've probably been bombarded with all types of ads, for fat burners, test boosters, pre-workouts, post-workouts, all these different types of supplements. Probably even dust supplements, But guess what? I'm here to tell you guys that most of that stuff is complete bullshit. In this video, I'm going to break down the only supplements you actually need if you're a skinny guy trying to build muscle. No hype, no advertising, no fancy science words, just real talk from someone who's been in a similar position as you. You see, when I started lifting 2 years ago, I weighed 65 kilograms. I had no mass, I had no weight on me, but I was able to put on a decent amount of size in the last 2 years. So I do have some experience in this stuff. I'm also a victim of intense marketing campaigns by these companies to sell products, which you actually don't need. Here's the truth. These supplement companies don't actually care about you, bro. They don't care if you're actually making gains. They don't care if you're a skinny guy trying to build muscle. What they care about is making sales. And these influencers, we all watch them. These people are just getting paid to sell you crap that some of them don't even actually use. But today I'm going to break down the only supplements you actually need and what you can actually skip entirely. Let's get into the video. First of all, before we even talk about supplements, you need to know that if your training is bad, your diet is bad, there's no supplement that's going to save you. These supplements are meant to add on to what you already have. They're not meant to replace. You need to be eating in a calorie surplus and lifting progressively heavier throughout a long period of time to make gains. It's not just a matter of going to the gym, lifting, and then taking supplements and then you grow. There's so many things that you need to first focus on before you start, dealing with supplementation. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about 4 main supplements. That's going to be mass gainer, whey protein, pre-workout, and creatine. So let's start off with mass gainer. About 2 months into my fitness journey, I found out about this, this hack where you could get a large amount of calories in your body, So I went and hopped on mass gainer. What I didn't realize is how bad it was going to make me feel. If I was taking mass gainer, I couldn't go to the gym immediately after because I'd be dying, I'd be bloated. I would have to wait 4-5 hours before my next meal, which was killing my calorie intake. I could have just had about 2 meals, but I've had a mass gainer. Now I have to wait about 5 hours before my next meal because I'll probably throw up. And the third problem I had with this mass gainer stuff is basically this stuff is too expensive. If you're actually very, very skinny as I was, you're probably gonna be spending up because realistically, if you're very skinny, you need to be taking about 4 scoops a day. So I said, you know what? I stopped taking the mass gainer. I started focusing more on eating high calorie meals, eating a lot of quantity, which I explained in this video where I talk about when you're trying to gain weight and your nutrition. You guys can check that video out. So mass gainer, not essential. I'm not going to tell you not to use it, but I'm going to tell you that it's not essential and you can't make gains without taking mass gainer. The next supplement I'm going to talk about is the famous whey protein. Yes, the supplement that all your favorite gym influencers are telling you to use their code to go and purchase. It's not magic, but it's convenient. If you're struggling to hit your daily protein target, a good whey protein can help. The downside that I found to whey protein was that, first of all, the price. It was very expensive and it gets done very quickly, hefty on the financial side for me personally. If you guys can afford to spend money on whey protein like that, by all means go ahead. Maybe I would have made way more gains if I was taking whey protein. But I just stopped. I decided, I'm going to focus on my meals. So far, in the last year, I've made a lot of progress without taking any whey protein. I'm not going to say it's essential. If you are struggling to hit your protein intake goals in a day, then I would opt for a good whey protein. Pre-workout, I'm just going to say this straight off the bat. These are bullshit. Overpriced caffeine bombs, If you have a good playlist and maybe have a coffee before your workout, you get the same effect. Pre-workouts, I just feel like pre-workout is so overrated. I've used it before, but I feel like if you're getting enough sleep at night, your body is well rested, there's no reason why you should go to the gym and feel tired. I know it gives you like a boost, you feel extra hype in the gym. I just don't think that's essential. I still think you can build muscle just focusing on your sleep and your water You know, there's other ways of making your body ready for a hard workout. So pre-workout, this is up to you guys. You know, I don't use it personally, just like the whey protein, but I feel like maybe if you're someone who's working like a 9 to 5, you know, you don't have enough time to rest, you can't rest before your workout, I would maybe say you can take pre-workout. And finally, I'm going to talk about creatine. This supplement has absolutely changed the game for me in terms of building muscle. I started taking this supplement about 10 months ago. Not only have I gained size and strength, but my workouts are way better. I don't feel tired when I'm working out like that. And definitely, from a visual standpoint, I do look fuller. My muscles they feel fuller. They look better when I am on creatine. You know, there's also studies that have been conducted that say that creatine helps in recovery indirectly and stuff like that. You know, I encourage you guys to go and look at the science, you know, behind these supplements. I encourage you guys to go do your own research on this creatine stuff, you know, see if it's something that you would need. But I wouldn't say it's essential, because I have had periods where I've gotten off the creatine, you know, and I was still able to work out. But I would say when I stopped taking creatine, that was about 3 months ago. I'm back on it right now. When I stopped taking it, I wasn't as big as I was when I was taking creatine. So do with that information what you will. This is the only supplement I back 100% because it has worked for me, definitely. I would recommend that if you're a skinny guy trying to build muscle, I would start taking creatine. I would start slowly. Loading phase is important, you know, all these things. After 2 weeks of taking creatine, it doesn't work like that. This is a progressive supplement that works over time. So you will see the benefits over time. Yeah, if you guys have enjoyed this video, if you guys have learned something, make sure you guys leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys next time.